Can you send me from the pictures? Can you send me from the pictures? Hi everybody! So I'm starting today's look with a fresh clean face. It's already been washed and moisturized and toned and everything. Now I'm just adding my POREfessional primer, and then we're going to get started right away into my brows. I'm going to be showing you a brow routine that is just one of several. It's not the same thing I do every time, but I figured I'd share at least one of them. So yeah, so I always like to start any brow routine by just cleaning up my actual brow hairs. I try not to tweeze too much of my own hair out, unless I only tweeze out like the really strays. But otherwise I just brush my hair in the direction. You can see it already looks a little bit fuller just from me brushing it in the direction that it naturally falls in, and I just happen to have a natural arch. So I begin by filling in my brows using my NYX Eyebrow pencil in the color Brown Black. And I like to start working from the outside inward. I will put the most amount of pressure on the outside of my brows, and as I move towards the center, I put less and less pressure onto the pencil. And you basically want to do strokes as if you're drawing individual hairs onto your brows. I mean, obviously you're not doing that, but that's the same approach you want to take. And I get it a little bit thicker towards the outside, and as I work towards the center, I lighten up with the colors. And I really don't like it to be really boxy. So I start off by making it boxy, and then we're going to clean it up a little bit so it doesn't look so drawn on. So first step of cleaning, I use that same spindle brush, and I'm just blending in the pencil so it doesn't look like strokes, it just looks like filled in brows. So to start my cleaning process, I'm just using my NARS concealer, and I sometimes use a concealer brush. Sometimes I just use the brush from the container, and that's what I'm using here. And I'm just following right along the line of my brow. You'll notice that this concealer is pretty much my skin tone. I don't like to do a highlighted brow, because then it just looks weird. I think it's weird when people over highlight around their brows. So I like to use a skin tone concealer, and just literally I'm only using it for the purposes of cleaning up the lines of my brows, not for highlighting, just for cleaning it up a bit and making sure that it looks a little bit more flawless. So I trace that on, and I then go back in with a tiny concealer brush, and I blend it outward, working from the brow line outwards on my face. And then I'm going to do the same thing underneath, working from the brow line and then downward. And as you see, once again, it's basically my skin tone and blends right in. And then it's going to blend more flawlessly into my foundation, and then it just will look like I just have really steady hands and drew and filled in my brows with little effort once I actually have the rest of my face put on. So and then just to finish off and lighten up the top a little bit so it blends in a little more, I'm just going back in with that same spindle brush and just blending everything in. Moving on to foundation, I just go ahead and dab that all over my face, and I was like overdoing it here, y'all. You really don't need as much as I just put on, but whatever. Apply your foundation. I'm using a flat top brush here, and I'm just pressing the foundation into my skin, not really rubbing. It looks like I'm rubbing it in, but I'm not. But definitely want to have the brush strokes going downward, because even if you can't see them, they're tiny hairs on your face, and you want to make sure that your face has a nice smooth look to the finish, or have a nice smooth finish at the end. And you do that by following, blending your makeup out in the direction of those tiny hairs. And of course, I'm gonna put some lip balm on my lips, and I like to do it early in the process so that it's kind of soaked into my lips by the time I'm doing my lip stuff later. And today I'm going to be using the Lorac Pro Matte palette. You guys have seen this. All beautiful matte colors that can really work with any occasion, which is why it's my everyday. So I'm going to be starting off with a primer, and I actually haven't used this primer before. It's a Lorac Pro primer, and You guys know I almost always have either Urban Decay or I use a concealer for my primers. But today I was just switching it up because I got the primer in a set with a palette, and I was like, why not try this? Because I'm using Lorac Pro eyeshadow. So I'm going to be starting off with just a flat eyeshadow brush and working that into my brow all the way to the crease of my eye. And I just went in there with that same color twice. You see it looks a whole lot more pigmented the second time around. So the Lorac Pro requires you to build a little bit, but that's okay. I'm going to do that on both eyelids. And you guys, you may have noticed today, but I did not speed anything up. This is in real time. Tell me if you like it. Comment below. Now I'm going to be going in with the second color, and I'm using just this. It's a crease brush by Elf, I believe, and I'm just working from the corners towards the center. It's okay if you don't blend out that line where the lighter color ends. I actually like the look of that. If you want to blend it out a little bit more, that's fine. I like that it looks almost like I tried to do a cut crease but didn't. So it's up to you. And then I'm going back in with this lighter pink color as the highlight of my brow. You guys know I don't always highlight my brow, but on occasion I do. And when I do, I like to use matte colors, not shimmery, glittery. I don't know, it's usually too much if you do with glittery stuff, and it doesn't look very good in pictures. So I'm just using this light pink color, and I really like the way it looks as the under eye highlight. Then, just to brighten up the eye look a little bit more, I'm going in with this NYX eyeliner in a silver color. And I like to use either a silver or a white on the lash line when I'm trying to brighten my look up. It makes it a little bit more fun and still conducive for the office. And then I'm doing just a very simple highlight, not a very simple highlight and contour. Not going to go into as much detail as I have done in some videos, and I'm just not going to be putting as much product on my face. So I'm starting off with this concealer, same one I always use, you guys, LA Pro Girl concealer. It's my favorite because it's not expensive. And so I'm using a beauty blender here. This beauty blender is wet. I don't always wet my beauty blenders, but I like the way it looks a lot better for blending in concealer when the beauty blenders are wet. So I'm just dabbing this into my skin, same way that I did, that I usually do. And just like I said with applying the foundation, you don't really want to rub it. You just want to press it into your skin gently. And so I'm just working that color into my T-zone. I'm just going to be using my NYX Mineral Set It, Don't Fret It powder just to set the concealer in the highlighted areas. And I'm not going to be using a whole lot of powder for this look today. So this is about as much powder as we're going to get today. You guys know that in some of my looks I do a lot of powder, like on the whole face. But for this particular look, it's I'm just using the powder for setting the concealer, and that's about it. And I'm not doing any baking because we don't bake for everyday looks, because then it would take forever to get ready for work. So and I am doing just a little bit of a powder contour using the Maybelline Fit. And you guys have seen this before in at least one of my videos, I know that. And I'm just going in very lightly with a very simple contour just to give it a little bit better contrast with the highlight. And you don't want to go too heavy with this because This is supposed to be an everyday look. It's not supposed to look really heavy. It's supposed to be something you can wear to work and not look like somebody just threw their whole makeup case on your face. So be light-handed with it. And I'm just doing that under my cheekbones, around my nose and my mouth, and then I'm going back in to blend right around my hairline, so that it blends more smoothly from my hairline into the highlighted part of my forehead. And y'all may have noticed, but I have more of a 5 head, so I have to be very cognizant of that inside. That's why I like to do that blending. And then I'm just going back over the whole look with a kabuki brush so that I can really blend in all the highlighting and contouring, so that it looks a little bit more natural and not so much like I have just a bunch of white stuff on the highlighted areas. So blend away. And this will give it more of an airbrush kind of look to it if you use a kabuki. This was an e.l.f. one, $6 y'all. And then for my lips today, I'm using my MAC lip pencil in Chestnut. There's a NYX lip pencil that's basically the equivalent of this one, and I can't remember the name. I'll try and put it in the description box or somewhere around here so you guys can know. But I alternate between the two. And I'm just highlighting or outlining my lips with the NYX pencil using a thick outline, and then I'm just going over with this Baby Lips lip gloss. It's just a lightly tinted gloss, but it blends very nicely with the brown liner. It looks like I have more color on than I actually do, right? And then to finish off the eyes, you guys, I'm going back in with my gel liner. It doesn't really matter which one you use, but you guys have seen this before. And I'm doing just a very light winged liner. Now this pen, or the brush that I was using for this is a brush that I hadn't used before, and I hated it. So I won't be using, I actually think I threw that one away. So I was struggling through it in this video, y'all. But I stuck through it, I fought through it, and I got that winged liner in there. And then at this point, I'm just adding mascara. But if you're someone who likes to use falsies, I don't wear false eyelashes, but this would be a good point to add your false lashes on top of the mascara. What those things called? Eyelashes. Then after I finished, I was like, oh gosh, I'm missing a highlight. So I just went back over using my Urban Decay palette, the Glow palette. You guys have seen this before. And I just went in with the highlighting color over on my cheekbones, and then I went in with that really light pink blush that they have in that palette, and it just brightened this look up a little bit more. And then just to blend it all together, there's a bronzer in that palette as well, and I used the bronzer even though I didn't use a whole lot of it. And I don't typically use the bronzer because it's so light. It's really made for fair toned, skin toned people, but it works with this look. And that's it, guys. As usual, you guys, I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'm sorry it's kind of long. 15 minutes is a lot for a makeup look, but like I said, I did everything in real time this time, which is something I haven't done before. So if you like that, don't forget to hit that thumbs up and let me know below so I know to do it in future videos. Thanks for watching again, you guys. Comment, like, subscribe, and follow me on social media. Bye!